2021 will be a much better year. I'm always glass half full, as you know. But I think the general consensus on tax reform, budget reform, those things that I think we need to do in order to have our state progress financially, and I think it's the perfect time to talk about all of that. And we were going to talk about it before COVID. But now that COVID has happened, I think it's even at a greater awareness level because we're in an economic downturn. So we're going to have businesses looking to us. We certainly don't want to raise taxes on businesses, but we want to make life a little bit easier on businesses. And the other question is, for me, how do we attract businesses into our state? And I think that one way we do that is a centralized sales tax collection system, tax reform, budget reform. I was initially for a constitutional convention. I'm not ruling that out, but I just don't know if we have an appetite for that, and that's a really big feat. But I think that we could do some things by statute with our budget and taxes to give us some relief. My district is a good representative of the state as a whole. So everybody's looking for educational opportunities, whether that's K through 12 education, early childhood education, the university system, the community and technical college system. How do we better prepare a workforce? That's always a concern. Healthcare. I have a lot of healthcare workers in my district, and of course with LSU being right outside of my district, education folks. So those are always at the forefront for my district. Another thing that's at the forefront of the minds of my citizens or infrastructure issues. We of course need a new bridge. We've been talking about that for many, many years now, but I've been in the legislature for 5 years. That's always one of the main topics that comes up. And I think we've kind of, since we've been at home during COVID, we're not seeing the traffic as much because we're not traveling as much. But once we come out of this pandemic, I think we're going to see, the congestion again, and that's going to come to the forefront. Whether or not that's through a gas tax or some kind of appropriation, if we do some budget reform, I don't know, but that's always on the table. I think at everyone's core, 105 of us in the House and 39 in the Senate, we all want to do good for the state of Louisiana and especially our districts, because that's where we live and work and go to the grocery store, people that we see every day. So I do think at everyone's core, you want to do good for the state. I think sometimes political theater gets in the way, but again, at our core, we all want what's best for the citizens of Louisiana. We don't always agree on how to get there, but I'm always hopeful that we can come together on the important issues, the really, really important issues, like tax reform, budget reform. How do we fix our infrastructure? How do we boost up higher education in the state of Louisiana? I think we all want those for our citizens. It's just coming together and trying to figure that out. I think that we are in a unique opportunity with this legislature because we have the President of the Senate and the Speaker of the House that work so closely together. And if you were around this last special session where we passed a form of tort reform, that was a huge, huge feat. And we did it. And we did it mainly because we had a Senate and a House working together. And that's something I hadn't seen work well in years past. And so I'm very hopeful that we're going to continue to get things done because of the relationship that the House and the Senate have. I had a bill for the Realtors, the Louisiana REALTORS Association, 2 years ago, regarding first-time home buyers and issuing a credit to first-time home buyers. I think that that's something that may not be in the cards for next session, but I think it's something that we definitely need to start talking about and how we fund that and how we afford it. But I think it's something that's very necessary because we've talked about the advantages of home ownership and the sense of community it builds and the pride that you take into your neighborhoods and into your homes, and you become a better constituent, a better citizen.